Here he comes.
Careful.
All clear.
That's it.
Heart rate stable. If we don't use human DNA now, someone else will.
Regulators and politicians, they tear us to pieces. I'm gonna go to jail for this.
Human cloning is illegal. This won't be human. Not entirely. It's coming out.
It's not due for months.
It's slippery. What was that?
A mistake.
It's empty. Clive? 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 Clive!
What happened?
It's alive! Don't, you'll get him!
Get out of there. I'm gonna gas it.
Wait,
In 3, 2, 1.
I said don't!
Alpha, it's dangerous.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
Nobody can see what we made.
It's aging fast. Days within a matter of minutes.
What are we supposed to do? Lock her away from the world? We changed the rules. Crossed the line.
That's the worst that could happen.
Right, hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to Friday Night Appointment with Fear. This week we're doing Splice, episode 55. Wow. This week we're doing Splice, directed by Vincenzo Natali, who, despite his name, is Canadian. But he's a great director. I've liked every film I've seen him do so far. Let's have a look at some of his films that I've seen. Going way back when. I think his first major film he did, his first feature he did was Cube, which is a cool film. He did a film called Cypher, which I don't think I've seen, but I could be wrong. And he did a film called Nothing, which is really good. It's a bit weird, but it's really good. Then he did Splice. Then he did a film called Haunter, which may be his most successful film. I don't know, but I think it's probably his most famous film because it stars Abigail Breslin. It's a ghosty thing. Pretty good. And that's about it, really. He did a segment in ABC's of Death 2. He's done a lot of TV. What else has he done? Oh, yes, he did a film called In the Tall Grass, which I think I've seen, which were quite good. And that's it, really. It's just, and the rest of it is TV work. Some good TV work, such as, let's have a look. Where are we? Orphan Black, Hannibal, The Strain, Lost in Space, Westworld. See, he's done some big shows. Cabinet of Curiosities, The Peripheral, Tremors. Oh, I did a TV movie, a Tremors TV movie, in 2018. But there we go. So that's a quick roundup of Vincenzo Natali's work. It stars Adrien Brody and Sarah Polley, who's a bit of a chameleon in this film. She looks like a lot of different actresses, to me anyway. But they're all good. And we've also got David Hewlett, who you may know from Stargate, being David Hewlett, basically, in this. And the big star of the film, the breakout star, is what's her face? Oh, tell you me bloody memory. Delphine Chaniak. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not. But she plays Dren, the creature. It's basically a Frankenstein film. And we'll get into that. But before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Winggrace asks, is David in all his films? It's not in all of them. but he's in most of them. He was in Cube, wasn't he? In Nothing. He's in this. I don't think he's in that In the Tall Grass, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe he is. Maybe maybe he's not a prominent part in all his films, but maybe he's in them all. But he's in most of them at least. There must be friends. There must be friends. What else? What else we're gonna say? All right, we're live on YouTube. I'll just double check. We are live on YouTube. We're live on Rumble. Yes, we are. And we're live on Twitch. There we go. Later on, I'll upload it to Spotify, Amazon Music Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. I'm also on Facebook, X, and Instagram if you want to follow me on there. Links are in the description. Wait, so his cabinet was the rap one with David. Oh, yeah, yes. That makes sense, doesn't it? Oh, pardon me. Now I'm starting to piece things together. It's a wonder he didn't do a Stargate episode, isn't it, really? I thought David had to put a word in for him. Get my friend Vincenzo to direct an episode of Stargate, but he didn't. As far as I know. But never mind. Right, where were we? So that's it. So we'll just get on with the film. And right, so I think I'm overlapping. Am I still overlapping with the podcast boys? But never mind. They'll get more viewers than me anyway. Even though I'm up to 400 subscribers. Yay! 400 subscribers. Cool. If we get to 500, I'll do a giveaway. I don't know. I'll give books away or something like that. But if that happens, yes, a horror Stargate would be great. I mean, some episodes of Stargate are quite, horrific. Not horrific as in bad. I mean, in a horror bent. I mean, there's that one in there where they can't fall asleep. That's got a bit of a horror edge to it, hasn't it? Was that SG1 or was that Atlantis? I can't remember now. I think it was SG1, wasn't it? Anyway, right. So, I'll get rid of that. Right. So let's get on with the film. As usual. By the way, I never said this, do I? But there'll be full spoilers because we're going through the film. As usual, we'll be watching it in a series of stills. I may play the odd snippet. Because if you just play the film, I get into trouble. And I always want them to visit a sort of foggy Victorian village being hunted by a vampire-like creature. But they've kind of done that as well, haven't they? I think they did that in Atlantis, didn't they? There was an episode in the fog where there were like a wraith-like thing somewhere down a well or in some tunnels or something like that, wasn't there? It had Ezri Dax from Deep Space Nine in it, didn't it? Nicole de Boer. That was a creepy episode as well. Yes, the sleep episode was an alright plague from season 9, or maybe 10 of it. Yeah, that's the one. Yes, it was a good episode of that, and quite creepy. But anyway, where were we? All right, yes. So right, off we go. I'll have to be careful as well with it later on in the film because there's a bit of a nudity, so I'm gonna have to be quick with me skipping. Right, so I'll make myself titchy tiny, and we'll get on with it. Right, there was Spooky Woods. Right, off we go. Right, I better forgot to mute this, hadn't I? Yep, I did because I usually do. Right, off we go. So we begin. Is it going to begin? There we go. Yes, we're beginning. Right. These are the opening credits showing DNA and stuff like that. By the way, one of the executive producers on this film was Guillermo del Toro. So you can see some of his influence in this, particularly with the creatures. Anyway, off we go. And it's also a Dark Castle entertainment film. Remember, they did a lot of remakes of I forgot his name now. The Castle fella who did stuff like The Tingler and House on Haunted Hill and stuff like that. They did remakes of that. 13 Ghosts. What was his name now? William Castle. That's the fella. William Castle. Right, so off we go. Right, so we're seeing DNA stuff going on, genetic engineering, because that's what the film's all about. So we're seeing all that going on, and we're seeing the cast. They must have. I wonder if they did this opening titles, because you see the cast in like that. As part of the DNA. Kind of reminds me a bit of Blade Runner, the look on the DNA of that scale and they see a code on it. Kind of reminds me of that a bit. But at the same time as we're seeing this, we're seeing all the other credits. See if I can catch a bit. There we go. See the other credits sort of like over the top, irregular writing. So I thought, I wonder if they wanted to get it over with quickly, the credits. And so they're showing the cast in the animated form, but the rest of the credits, you know, the behind the scenes people popping up as text. I'm waffling, I know. Wingers says, I like the 13 Ghosts remake. Don't know if it holds up. I've only seen it once, and I can't remember if I liked it or not. I think I like whatever it would, you know, it exists. I don't think I liked it or disliked it. I thought, you know, whatever. But I've only seen it once. Tony Shalhoub in it, in that one. And I've seen the original, I think, once, but it's more of a, I think it's more of a comedy, isn't it? The original. The House on Haunted Hill is one of my favourite. The original with Vincent Price, one of my favourite films. I watched it quite recently, actually. There's two versions on the UK Amazon Prime. There's two versions of House of on Haunted Hill. There's the regular black and white version, and there's a colorized version, which is not bad. Right. So anyway, we're still going through these credits. Off we go. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Oh, there he is. Actually, when I watched it earlier on, I'd never noticed Guillermo del Toro's name. I never missed him out, but no, he's there. Lots of executive producers. Oh, there's David Hewlett's name. There he is. Look, David Hewlett. Appearing amongst the scales for us gators. Right. So off we go. Right. So we begin. Something's been born. We're hearing beeping. You know, they're in a some sort of hospital room. And there we see Adrien Brody. I like Adrien Brody, and he's like charismatic, but he's not handsome, is he? I'm not saying I'm an oil painting, but hang on. I'm not saying that to just show myself. I'm not an oil painter, but Adrien Brody's not a good-looking fella, is he? But he's charismatic, and he does have good screen presence, and he's a great actor, and I do like him. But anyway, so there's Adrien Brody. There's Sarah Polley, I think, or maybe not. I don't know. But we do see her in a minute, and she looks a lot like Amanda Tapping to me. See if you agree. But anyway, something's being born. All right, and then we hear the heart stops, and so they get the paddles out. They give it an injection of summit. Oh, there we go. Here we see Sarah Polley, and it looks like Amanda Tapping there. To me, she does anyway. If you imagine Amanda, you know, Sam Carter from Stargate, there'll be a lot of Stargate references in this probably. Does look like her there anyway. And later on, she looks like oh, I forgot the name. Oh, but what they call her? She was in Hannibal, the film, and Lost World, Jurassic Park, Evolution. What the bloody call her now? I'm gonna have to look her up now because it's bothering me. It's bothering me. But Windgrace will he'll tell me beforehand because he knows everything. Julianne Moore, that's it. Julianne Moore. She looked like Julianne Moore later on. Anyway. Right, so something's been born. It died. They brought it back. Yes, Carter with bigger eyes. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Does look like it there, to me anyway. Oh, I've done that again. There we go. Right. He's perfect. This is obviously a boy. They call this Fred, and it turns out it's not a baby that's been born. Well, it is sort of. It's a genetically engineered life form that they're going to call Fred. They've got another one, a female one, which they call Ginger, which you can just make out there. And they're like, you know, amorphous creatures. They don't have arms and legs or anything. They're like worms. What's the word? Vermiform, I think is the word, isn't it? So anyway, so we see him in a minute. They're going to get him out here. She's recording them. The scientists, by the way, at a genetics company that's owned by a big pharmaceutical company. And the company I don't know if they own, I think they own the company that they work for. That's not own it, but I think they set it up. It's called Nerd, something like nucleic. Oh, it tells us in a minute. And there's Fred. There he is. Oh, there he is. So they're going to pop him down in there to meet Ginger, and they get on. We see what happens here. The Ginger on the right, that's Fred. See, the female is larger. Maybe it's because she's older. I don't know. But they don't kill each other. Not yet. But they do get on. See, everybody's happy. And it's a big breakthrough. What they're doing is that they're growing these life forms. There's David Hewlett. They're growing these life forms to be like harvested for, things to make genetic breakthroughs, in medicine and stuff like that, cures for cancer and all that stuff. That's what they're doing these for. But they're wanting to do testing with human DNA so they can make, stuff for human. I don't know, but that's what they're wanting to do. But this is David Hewlett. He plays, I forgot his name already, in the character's name. William Barlow. He's playing William Barlow. He's their boss. By the way, Adrien Brody and Sarah Polly's characters are called Clive and Elsa. Remember I said it was a Frankenstein story. Obviously, that's a reference to Clive is a reference to Colin Clive, who played Dr. Frankenstein in the original film, and Elsa is a reference to Elsa Lanchester, who played the Bride of Frankenstein in The Bride of Frankenstein. But coincidentally, Elsa was also the name of Adrien Brody's girlfriend at the time he made this film. So that's just a coincidence. Anyway, William Barlow, David Hewlett here, Rodney McKay from Stargate Atlantis and SG-1, is their boss, their immediate boss. Obviously, he's got his own boss. And they're going to go into a meeting with the big boss, who is called, I can't remember, Joan Chorot. Well, I think it's French Canadian. Maybe it takes place in Montreal or somewhere like that. I think it's set in Canada. It doesn't really say, but I'm guessing it's set in Canada, probably Montreal. Just a guess. Why not? So, but there we see they've been interviewed by Wired magazine, Epic Nerds, and the picture on the cover, looking like she's from the Tron Legacy for some reason there. But anyway, never mind. So they're going to go in for this meeting, and they're hoping she's going to give them the go-ahead to move on to the next phase using human DNA. But unfortunately for them, they're doing the presentation, you see. But they're wanting to use human DNA. There's the Vitruvian Man, something like that, isn't it? From Leo, not Leonardo DiCaprio, the other one, Leonardo da Vinci. They want to use human DNA, to learn other things. But she's not happy about it. If we see her, there's David again. Are we going to show her? There she is. She's the big boss of the company. But she's not ready for that. She says they're going to move on to phase 2, which is basically just carrying on as they are. But they need to find this specific gene for some reason. It probably explains it, but I can't really remember. They've got to find this specific gene, and that's what phase 2 is. It's going to make the company lots of money for some reason. I don't know. And there you go. So that's what they're doing. So they're not allowed to use human DNA. So they're a bit fed up now. Well, they will be in a minute. There you go. There you go. She's saying the regulators will tear them to pieces if they know they're using human DNA. 'Cause it must be illegal in Canada. I think it's probably legal everywhere, isn't it? But in an interview with Vincenzo Natali, he said they're actually saying it's legal in the UK to use human DNA in genetic engineering. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. And by the way, he thought it was him that wrote the script for this, him and others, but he had the idea for it. And he got the idea. Remember that mouse with the human ear on its back? It was that gave him the idea. But I don't think that was technically genetic engineering, was it? I think it was like grafting and stuff like that, really, wasn't it? Rather than changing the mouse genetically. But it gave him the idea for the film anyway. All right, so there you go. She's telling them, no uncertain terms, don't use human DNA. Do what you're paid to do. So they're not happy. Look, they're not happy. So they decide to do it anyway. They decide to carry on anyway in secret. Oh, there we go. Nucleic exchange research and development. Bit of a clumsy way to get nerd. You can't see it for me, can you? Hang on, let me remove myself. There you go. Bit of a clumsy way to get nerd. And as we'd learn later, they call the creature, Dren, which is nerd backwards. Right, hang on. Right. Oh, they arrive in their Wayne's World car. I don't know if it is the same sort of car that they drive about in Wayne's World, but it looks similar, doesn't it? Maybe it's the only car in Canada, because Mike Myers is Canadian, isn't it? I know it's not set in Canada, Wayne's World. Aurora, Illinois. Illinois. I always say Illinois, but it's Illinois, innit? Don't pronounce the S, but I always do accidentally. Right, so they're in their lab here. And they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're doing their naughty stuff with human DNA. That in the background is their the artificial womb that we see later. But they're doing their experiments. They're wanting to find a sample of human DNA that'll successfully splice with the other stuff that they've got. But it keeps failing, and I don't exactly know how long they're in here. There's a passage of time, but I don't know how much. Is it days, weeks? Don't know. He's eating Chinese food anyway. That's something you don't see in the UK. Like when you order a Chinese food, takeaway or whatever, you don't get them in boxes like that over here. You get them in cartons, plastic cartons and stuff like that. I've always wanted a Chinese in a box, like you see in the films, but we don't get them. Never mind. Right, so they keep failing. So there you go. Unsuccessful. And there's the name of the film, look. We need that Leonardo DiCaprio meme now, don't we? There's the name of the film. But it's a temporary file, so it must get deleted. So they keep failing. So she decides, right, we'll have one last try. Here we go. M3. Whatever that means. And it's work. Oh no, it says it's not working, then it does work. Hang on. Those boxes actually open into plates, but nobody knows that. I wouldn't know because we never see them here. Well, not in this neck of the woods. Maybe in other parts of the UK. I don't know, but not round here. Anyway, I could just eat a Chinese now. Could murder one. A chicken chow mein. Anyway. Right, where were we? There we go. Successful, it works. And spoilers, that DNA that she put in was her own. We don't know that yet, though, till much later on in the film, but, what the hell. Right, so they've got it. Right, so it works, and she's showing a bit of cleavage, which is fine. So they're going to put it on ice. The plan is, their initial plan, just put it on ice, forget about it. It's worked. They've successfully spliced human DNA with animal DNA. So they're just going to freeze it, put it away, and then go back to their normal job. But she can't let it lie, can Elsa, because she's that sort of person. So she decides, so there you go, he's saying, what you doing? She's going to go to the next step. And she locks him out of the lab. She changes the code, goes into the lab, changes the code so he can't get in. And she's going to inject the cells into the artificial womb. Here we go. Oh, by the way, that Betty, it stands for something. I can't remember what. I can't remember. But some intrautero, I don't know, extrautero something. Hang on, it might say here. Let me click on find. Just bear with me. There we go. There we go. It stands for biomechanical extrautero thermal incubator. However, this is from IMDb's trivia section. However, interestingly, the word Betty or Beatty, however you pronounce it, means daughter in Urdu and Hindi. So there you go. And as we know in the film, a daughter is created. Right. So she's doing that. There we go. Ovum ready for insertion. So she puts that in and lets him in. Too late, it's in the process. Well, the process has begun, but now she leaves it up to him. They're on a countdown now. There we go. Insertion sequence abort in 25 seconds. So if he wanted to abort, he could just stop it, but he doesn't. He presses the enter key and the process begins. There we go. So off we go. Swearing. Then we cut to some really bad vector graphics for some reason. No idea why. By the way, the budget for this film were only $30 million, which, not a lot. But it didn't make its money back, unfortunately. But it's got a bit of a cult following now. Like a lot of Vincenzo Natali's films, a lot of them have cult followings, don't they? Like Cube and that film Nothing, which is really worth looking at. It is a weird film, but it's worth looking at. Anyway, and that In the Tall Grass, that gets a bit weird as well. Anyway, right. So we're cut into some bad vector graphics. I don't know how they did that. But just to show us that the implantation has begun. So they've now got to wait. Maybe showing this is Fred that they're showing us. So they're going back to their other work because they think it's going to take ages for this thingamabob fetus. That's the word I'm looking for. Take ages for this fetus to grow. But anyway, Wingrace at it again. Can't blame me. I went to the theatre for this one. Did you? All right. I didn't. But it is a good film. I really like it. I got the there we go. I got the Blu-ray. And for some reason, my Blu-ray doesn't play my PS5. It just sits there. To quote that fella from The Abyss, it just sits there like a dumb shit. Doesn't play. But luckily the DVD, because it's a double play Blu-ray and DVD. Luckily the DVD played. Right. Where were we? Right, so he's back now in the regular lab, and they're looking at Fred. And this is Colin's brother, Gavin, and he's part of the team. He's been looking after Fred, and or is it? Yeah, it is Fred, isn't it? They're looking at, and he notices that he's distracted. He notices that Colin is distracted now, saying, "What you been busy with?" And he fobs him off. What else is checking progress? Then I think it starts freaking out. Yes, it does. Its heart stops. The fetus's heart stops. There you go. So she's worrying that it's thinking, it hasn't worked. But then suddenly it like goes, whoa, and its heart starts again beeping really fast, and it starts growing quicker. So it's a resilient thing. Which is, foreshadowing what's gonna. There's a lot of foreshadowing in this film. Well, quite a bit of what's going to happen later. We see that it's a resilient fetus. It's not easy to kill, or it won't die easily. But anyway, so they're home now. Talking about stuff. She wants to move somewhere nice. He says, "Well, I like it here." And then they talk about having kids, and she doesn't want to have kids. Because she was basically what's the word? Not abused, but mistreated by her mother. We see where she grew up on the farm, and they go back to that farm later in the film, and we see, she didn't have a lot of things. She didn't even have a proper bed, just a mattress on the floor, and the mother didn't allow her toys or makeup or sweets or anything like that. A strict mother. And it kind of rubs off on her, to be honest, as we see later on. But she doesn't want kids, but he does. But anyway, so that's that. And then she mentions, how about after we crack male pregnancy? And he says, oh, no, we don't want that. And then she calls him a hypocrite, blah, blah, blah. Woke. Right. So, I think, yes, he gets an alert on his phone, and something's wrong with Betty, and it's leaking, and the fetus has basically, it says it's come to term. So, and it's like, it shouldn't happen for months and months, but it's happening now. So they've got to get it out. The pressure's rising inside. So we'll lose it. So she sticks her arm in, as you do, and it grabs hold of her. She says, there you go, it's stinging, but we can't see what it is yet. So he just lets all the fluid out. Amniotic fluid? No, that's in your eye, isn't it? Whatever. All the fluid out, and then he gets a scalpel and cuts open the womb, and the creature lets go of her. And there we see it there. It's, I say can't really see what it is. It's just a small little thing. But he hides it, puts it under a box. and she starts fitting as though it's like some allergic reaction. So he gets like I think like an EpiPen or something like that, and gives an injection, and she's fine after that. But we see she's got stinger marks on her arm. Anyway, right. So there he's getting the EpiPen, and so they've got their test subject now, and they put it in an incubator, and wonder what to do next. Then we cut to their home. That says, I can't remember. It's obviously it's in Japanese. That it's coming or something like that. I don't know what it's a reference to. Is it Marine Boy? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I used to love that when I was a kid. Marine Boy with his oxygen gum, didn't he? Anyway, whatever. Anyway, he decides he's going to go and kill it. And she stops him. You can see her arms all bandaged up. She says, no, we don't have to do that. See what's going to happen next. Right, so they're going to go in and check it out. And they think it's dead. They have a look. And she gives it a prod. So I think it's dead. So he goes back out. And then she, in a minute, there we go. She opens it up. Oh, and then she sees as she's opening it, get a little glimpse. There we go. There you go. There's some residue on the latch. That's a clue that something is amiss. But anyway, she opens it up. There's nothing inside. So obviously the thing has birthed itself. And then we see it in a minute. She's calling him, and you can't hear her. Creature has arrived in a minute. There you go. It's alive. Oh, there we go. There we see it lurking about. Young Dren, young CG Dren. So, and it's running about, it's freaking out. It's scared, obviously. And he's still outside, and he's ready with the ether to knock it out. And but she won't let him. She says, you'll be fine. And there it is, there's young Dren. And it comes out to her, but then Colin comes in with a big stick and scares it off again. And drags her out and hits the ether, so they knock it out, and they're gonna, check it later. There it is. Poor thing, knock it out. That kind of crew, the scientists, you see, they're supposed to have this emotional detachment, and sometimes they do have that, and obviously they're human as well, so sometimes they don't. But they can go from being like, empathetic to being quite cruel really quickly, both of them. Maybe that's just what scientists are like. But anyway, so they're doing some tests now, some scans and stuff. And there you go. They see there's the human element. There's also other creatures in it as well. It did. Gone to this. What does it say now? It says here what else were in it, and I can't remember where it is. They're like salamander and stingray. I don't know why. All these different creatures that they've put in. And why would they put a stingray in? I don't know. Maybe is it that salamanders can grow parts back? I think that might be why they've got that in. But anyway, I'm just trying to find it. It says it here somewhere. I can't find it now. Hang on. Let's do the find function again. A fish, a salamander, and a stingray. Oh, no, that's all it said. I thought it said something else as well. There we go. So there we go. We learn about the fish part because we learn that she can breathe underwater later, can Dren. And there you go. She's looking at the scan, and they can see some things inside. They don't know what they are. She says, are they lungs? It says, no, they're the lungs. Then she says, are the tumours? And they think it's going to die because it's aging really quickly. So they think it's not going to live long. But it turns out those tumours are actually it says amphibious lungs, but maybe I presume they mean gills. More like gills, aren't they? But they're not on the outside; they're on the inside, like a fish. There it is. Oh, this isn't a CG. This is a puppet on the table. There you go. It's aging fast, so I think it'll probably not live long. So I think, well, we'll just carry on with the experiment then. If it's not going to live long, might as well see what happens. So doing. It's not a tumor. Anyway, all right. And so they decide to do that. They're gonna raise Dren, but she hasn't called it that yet. Subject H50, I think. It's scientific name is. Anyway, he's here with Fred or Ginger, can't remember which one. And Gavin's telling him there's some like estrogen changes or something in it. He's telling him that something is wrong with one of the other Fred or Ginger. I think it's Ginger. But he's not really listening because he's distracted. So anyway, but they're saying he's been a little worn out. Then he can hear Dren screaming, and nobody else can seem to hear it for some reason. But it's really loud. But then he puts some music on. There you go. Forget about it. Right. So Dren's growing more, and they're feeding it this slop, but Dren doesn't want to eat that. They've got it tied down. Look, a big gas canister, but it doesn't want to eat it. She's freaking out. There you go. Won't eat it. Just spits it out. And then we learn. Oh, we'd seen earlier on, by the way, that Elsa, she's like addicted to these little sweets, little sugary sweets. I thought they were like Tic Tacs, but I think they're just sugary, fruity candies. I think, but like Tic Tacs, orange Tic Tacs, perchance. Anyway, we see that she eats a lot of those, and Dren knocked them out of her pocket, and they're gone on the floor. So Dren she's got a sweet tooth as Dren, so she's going and eating all these up. Look, so they decide to put lots of sweets, sugar and stuff in her diet. Here we go. He wolfs it down. Bless her. In a minute. Oh, she did, honest. I'm not lying. She's look. That's a sweet. A bit like me. I shouldn't eat sweets, being type 2 diabetic, but never mind. Right. So we've gone for another meeting. There you go. Elsa couldn't make it. Obviously, Elsa's with Dren, and there's saying that she's at work. And it's a meet. Seeing how they're going, and there's going to be a big shareholders presentation of Fred and Ginger. So that's coming up, which doesn't end well. Meanwhile, back at home, Elsa's looking through her knickknacks, some of the stuff she had when she was a kid, a little Barbie doll that she hid from her mother, and mother wouldn't allow her toys, so she had this stuff that she hid from her mother. And she found a photo. There we go, a photo of her and her mother. She's obviously not a happy child, but anyway. Right, so they're saying that what does it say? Day 21. Dren's growing, and she's getting more human features. Let's say her mouth and a little nose and that, and her eyes are kind of on the side of her head, and when she looks like that, But as it when she sort of like becomes an adult Dren, they kind of move forward. They're still wide apart, but they move forward. Anyway, and there she is, child Dren, played by Abigail Chew, as child Dren. There she is, with a teddy, and she's doing some tests. Is Elsa saying, where does Teddy go? Obviously, she's got all these right. Look, bottle goes on the picture of the bottle, etc. So she's clever. So she puts the teddy on the picture of the teddy. Then she gets some Scrabble things out. She spells out her name. She says ELSA, Elsa, that's me. But Dren changes the letters. And I mean, there you go. She spells out nerd. And, obviously, because she sees that there on Elsa's T-shirt, nerd. So she's clever. She says, "Oh, she's I forgot the word. It tells in a minute. Associate. That's it. She can associate. So saying cool. But it gets a bit cross. Does As Colin says, treating her like a pet. Says, well, no, she's not. She's they've got to decide what to do because here we go. We're learning that renovating this entire wing, so they're going to move Dren down to the basement, the storage. Not, I don't know if it's in the basement, but like a storage room elsewhere. So that's what they're going to do. But as they're talking about that, Gavin comes along, and somehow he can get past this lock that has this code. He just sticks something in it and then unlocks it, as we'll see. You ready? So it's some sort of cat burglar. So he does that, switches it on, and then just does that. That puts the key in. That bypasses the security. I don't know. So he's snuck in, and he's listening to them arguing, and he's listening. They're talking about, Dren and all that. And, if we get caught, we'll go to prison and all that. But little does he know, Dren's above him. The tail comes down with the stinger. She's got a stinger in her tail. And they're rowing. And then Gavin comes bursting through the door with Dren on him. And, she hasn't stung him, thankfully, because the sting is deadly, apparently. Dren runs away. So now Gavin knows, and Gavin runs off. So they've got to move Dren to this other area that isn't going to be renovated, and Colin has to go and deal with Gavin. So anyway, they're in this storage area, and he's talking about we've got to deal with this presentation with Fred and Ginger. And as you can see at the moment, Dren, likes Elsa. That all changes as the film progresses. But here's Colin talking to Gavin. And Gavin, he says, and he's right. He says, you could have stopped this. You're just doing what Elsa wants, as usual. So they're making out that, Elsa is the one that gets whatever she wants all the time, which kind of another bit of foreshadowing, really, because that kind of gets turned on its head later on when she says to Dren, you can't always get whatever you want. But anyway, right. So I don't think he's not going to tell anybody, not yet anyway, so he can trust his brother. But then we see down, I don't know if there's been a passage of time or what, I don't know, but Dren's ill. She's got a high fever. They don't know what to do. That's it. They're going to put her in because she's got a fever. They're going to put her in cold water. So they put her in, and she's freaking out. And Colin has this look on his face, and he just grabs Dren. He grabs her tail so she can't sting him, and he holds her under the water. And Elsa's freaking out, saying, "You're killing her," and he thinks he's killed her. He's drowned Dren, and as we look, she's fine. She's breathing underwater. Remember the fish DNA. And they get her out, and she says, "Oh, you knew, didn't you? You knew that those tumors were amphibious lungs / gills." And he goes, "Yeah." Says it like yeah. I think you're actually just trying to kill her, and then then it's done with, over, innit? They can get back to work. But no, she's survived as Dren. So there we go. So anyway, so now Dren, I think now Dren is now adult Dren. Another passage of time, don't know how long, but she's grown into adult Dren. She's now Delphine Shaniak. I don't know how you pronounce it. And here Elsa's giving her one of her little Barbie dolls to play with. There she's in her little room. Well, we see that there you go. She's got 3 fingers and a thumb. That's cool, seamless CG, in my opinion. I don't know. Did Delphine Shaniak have like a green over a 4th finger? Did she have like a green thing covering it up? I don't know, but it looks good anyway. So she gives her that, and there we go. There we see her. Look, and so she's watching. It's a night. So they're outside Delphine's area. They decide to make love. So they're getting down to it here. Here we go. But there you go. What's his face? Colin notices she's watching. She's watching his Dren. Right. The presentation. This doesn't end well. This doesn't end well. So there's the boss saying in front of the shareholders and collected press people, because there's lots of cameras clicking later on, that they're going to introduce us to Fred and Ginger, and for some reason they've got them separated now. They had them together earlier on, but we've got them separated now. But there they are, and this is introducing the two scientists, Clive Nicoli, which is an anagram-ish of Colin Clive, who played, Dr. Frankenstein, and Elsa Cast. I've been trying to work out where that might come from. I don't know. I can't work that one out. Never mind. So there they are, introducing them, and they're talking about how it's scientific breakthroughs, blah blah blah, and then they introduce Fred and Ginger, and hang on. We see that the lower the barriers between them. Come on, showers. There we go. Lower the barriers between them, but then we see something is amiss. Don't seem to like each other as they did earlier on. And then we see. I think this is Ginger. Ginger gets like some sort of reaction going on. We got like spikes come out of their mouths, and they basically start attacking each other. Here we go. They start attacking each other. Basically, I think they just kill each other. There you go. Start attacking each other. And all the crowd are going, "What's going on?" There you go. They're all freaking out. And they're smashing the container that they're in, the tank that they're in. The boss is like, "Oh, for God's sake, this is a disaster." And then the tank, they're fighting that hard. Look, the tank's going to fall over, and it falls over, and all blood sprays over the front 2 rows. Oh, dear. So, and then David Hewlett's way he copes with it at the next meeting, he says, "I know it's a bit of a setback." But anyway, so there was. That's the end of Fred and Ginger. We do learn, why they started attacking each other. There we got this meeting. There we go. I have to agree, this is a setback. She says it's a disaster. There you go. And then, but they've learned what happened, and it turns out that Ginger turned into a male. So that's why they attacked each other. They were fine. They stayed male and female. They'd been fine, but Ginger spontaneously turned into a male. They don't know why, but it's a bit of foreshadowing for later on in the film. So there's something to do with their process makes female creatures turn into male ones. Certain hormonal changes, and what's his face? Remember earlier on, Gavin had tried to warn Colin, pardon me, of like estrogen changes and stuff like that, and all that. But Colin wasn't listening, really, was he? And he tries to blame Gavin. He says, you didn't notice and all that. And Gavin's saying, well, you're never here, etc. But anyway, so they're under orders now. No more monsters. Because she doesn't know about Dren, and David Hewlett doesn't know about Dren yet. But they've got to, there we go. They want the gene that produces CD356, whatever that is. It's obviously something important to the company, but that's what they're wanting. So he's Colin shouting at Gavin. Dren's scared because they're all rowing. So they decide they've got to get her out of there now. So they're going to go to the farm that Elsa grew up in, where her mother lived. Her mother's passed away, by the way. So they're going there. They're going to take Dren there. Away from prying eyes. And there's Dren looking out the box. She's scared, obviously. Poor Dren. So they back her up they don't take her to the farmhouse. They keep her in the barn. And but Dren doesn't want to go in because it's scary. She runs off, so they go running after her into the woods looking for her. Anyway, they find her, and she's fine. Remember, she likes sweets. Well, now she not only likes sweets, she likes raw rabbit. They find her eating a rabbit that she's obviously caught. And she smiles at him. There we go. She's eating a rabbit. Bless her. So she's got the taste for flesh. But, oh, the hell was that? Was that my Alexa making a noise? Don't know. Right, so anyway, in this barn, they've got a big, luckily, there's a big water tank for Dren to go in whenever she wants to. Maybe she can breathe in water or not. She can do both. She's putting padlocks on the doors. But obviously, Dren's scared. There we get a better look at. See, she's got funky legs, hasn't she? And apparently, the actress Delphine walked around in high heels to get the proper, movement. So she had really high heels on. Obviously, they're CG legs. She's been admonished by Elsa for eating the rabbit. Saying that was bad. She's still got blood on her mouth. So she doesn't like being told off. But anyway, she just jumps in the water out the way. Next, they're going to go back to the farmhouse and set up home there. There we see that was Elsa's room. Just a mattress on the floor. Oop. Right, what's happening next? Right, they're going back to work. Here we go. I keep calling it, I forgot his name of his character again. William Barlow is setting them to work, giving them their white doctor's things, and they basically get on with it. We've got a job to do. So anyway, meanwhile in the barn, see they've got cameras set up now. To keep an eye on Dren, and we see all this water dripping down, and Dren's catching it on her pointy tongue. Here she finds the box that Elsa were looking in earlier on with a photo of her mother and a little doll and all that. She finds that, so she's looking through Elsa's stuff. There she goes. She tries on the little tiara. She sees the photo of Elsa and her mum. She just finds the Barbie doll. All right, then she finds a cat. And she chases, she gets the cat. You think, God, she's going to eat the cat. But she don't. She likes the cat. And there you go. So she's loving the cat. But the cat's not having fun, is it? I mean, look at it. That's what my cat's like when you pick her up. She doesn't struggle or anything. She just like sits there and thinks, come on, put me down. But, while you're holding me, that's what she's like. So she's got a pet cat now. Right, so they're trying to. She's spelling out stuff with the Scrabble pieces, and Elsa's giving her food. Just got a trauma flashback to the Outer Limits, I think, about a robot petting a cat. Don't know. I can't remember. I've seen all the Outer Limits as well. I'm not about the originals. I don't know about the remakes. They did them in the 80s, didn't they? They're an 80s version. I don't know. Anyway, where were we? Oh, see all these veggies on here. Elsa's determined that Dren's going to be vegetarian. Now, this was one Brad Wright worked on around Stargate Tower, so one of the new ones. All right. I don't think I've seen any of the new ones. I don't think. She's determined that Dren's going to be vegetarian, and she's giving her food in a bowl. She don't want to eat it, and Colin says, "Oh, maybe she wants some meat." He says, "No, she doesn't eat meat." And then he says, "Well, so rabbit's not classed as meat now, is it?" That she doesn't want it. And then she spells out tedious in the Scrabble tiles. And Colin says, how did she learn that word? And then she also spells out outside. She wants to go outside. There you go, spells tedious. And he spells outside. She's not that clever though, is she? Hang on. The eye upside down. It's not that clever, is she? Anyway, she wants to go outside. Obviously, they said, "No, you can't go outside. I'm sorry." So she has a paddy. There's do you know that word paddy? She freaks out. She has a paddy. Starts throwing things about, and so they play Homer with her. Oh, actually grabs hold of her ear, and I like getting. I bet this is how her mother treated her. She like grabs hold of her by the scruff of the neck, says, "Come on, sit down there." I thought, I bet that's how she was treated by her mother. So we see. I think we're seeing, her childhood affecting how she treats Dren from now on. To be completely honest. But anyway, Dren thinks, I've had enough of this, and she goes and jumps up through the ceiling and onto the roof. And I'm wondering, for the rest of the film, do they put bars on it jumps through like a night light, skylight, whatever they call them, skylight, and do they put bars on that then? Because she never escapes again. Well, not until she wants, you know what I mean. So they climb up the ladder and go find Dren there. She's standing on the roof, and then she falls. I think she's gonna fall, and there you go. And as she falls back, she puts out her arms, and she's got blooming wings now. Wings have appeared and some weird things on the back. I don't know what they're for. But obviously it stops her falling. So there you go. And he says, "Come back, Dren, we love you." And she goes into Colin's arms because she loves Colin. And then we see getting jealous now. So we've got a love triangle starting to form immediately. Meanwhile, what's William Barlow up to? Can't remember. Oh, yes. He's saying, he's at work and he's saying, where's Elsa? And Colin says she's sick. And then he's saying, a lot of people just suck it up, rise to the occasion in a very Rod McKay way. But, she's here with Dren and she's putting makeup on Dren. There you go, putting makeup on and making her look more human. There we go. And this is very pretty actress, is Delphine Sheniak. Obviously, her eyes don't really look like that. I mean, her eyes do, but they've moved them further apart, digitally. Anyway, so she dresses her up and dresses her up, makes her up, and then she finds some drawings that she's done of Colin. And hang on, he says they're really good. He says they're no drawings of me. So this is like a clue that Dren is falling in love with Colin, and then Dren runs away. Oh, and then it's where Elsa finds the cat. There you go. She says, "You can't have the cat; it might make you sick." So she takes the cat away. So poor Dren. She's heartbroken. Look, oh, me cat. Taking the cat away from her, but the cat comes back. Don't worry. Right. So Colin comes home. He finds Elsa asleep in her room with the cat. Remember, the cat's still there. The cat must want to be there. Was it a stray? Don't know, but it must want to be there. So he goes down to see Dren. There you go. You see she's all sad. And he puts some music on. There you go. They've got a record player. Puts some music on. And he teaches Dren to dance. So there she's all happy. And it's pointed out in the IMDb trivia that a lot of animals have dance is part of their mating rituals, and this is which I didn't think of before when I watched it before until I read that. I thought that's what's happening here. Essentially, Colin is doing like an overture to Dren as part of a mating ritual. So they start dancing together and loving it because it's a mating ritual. And she's looking at him intently, love in her eyes. And then Colin notices something about her. He's obviously getting feelings as well, but he's noticing something about, I don't know, little details. And he realizes that she's got Elsa's DNA in her. So he realizes that. So he stops the dancing, says, I've got to stop. He goes, leaves Dren alone again. Right, presumably this is next morning, where Colin tells her, says, "Your DNA in Dren. What were you thinking about?" Blah, blah, blah. There we see Dren's funky eyes. Elsa comes back and, we see Dren doing this reminded me a bit of in The Fly, where Jeff Goldblum, after he's been merged with the Fly and he starts doing his superhuman acrobatics and stuff. This kind of reminded me of that. But excuse me. She comes in, says, "I brought a present for you," and it's the cat. She comes down, says, "Come down here, look. I'm sorry for being cross with you. I've something for you." And it's the cat. And then Dren kills the cat. She stabs it with a stinger. Because she doesn't want anything from Elsa, does she? So Elsa slaps her across the face, and so Dren, retaliates. You think, oh, crikey, she's hissing and growling at her. She doesn't talk, by the way. She has one line of dialogue right at the end of the film. She uses her stinger to take this key. She's got the key around her neck for the padlock on the door. And she's going to escape. She opens the door, but before she can escape, she's ready to go. Be free. But Elsa whacks her with a shovel. Doing. Oh. Cut. There we go. Dren's tied down, fastened to her operating table. And this is where Elsa gets kind of cruel now. Obviously, this means that, Dren hates Elsa. Got her tied down. And I've got to be careful here now because she cuts Dren's clothes off. And so I have to be careful here now because there's some nudity. And what she's going to do, she's going to cut off and remove the stingy part of Dren's tail. Cut off the stinger and remove the, poison, venom sacs or whatever she says, something like that. That's what she's going to do. So, but she cuts off her clothes. Hey, close, wasn't it? Ah. Not doing it on purpose, YouTube. So that's what she's doing. She cuts off the zootoxin glands and stinger. That's what she's doing. That me number. So she's doing that. Obviously, she injects her, so she'll a local anaesthetic, and obviously Dren's not happy. Then Colin arrives and he says, "What are you doing?" He says, "I had to do it." There you go. That's the outcome of that. So she leaves. Says, she almost killed me. She killed the cat, and she almost killed me. So she's, thinks she's doing the right thing, but says she's been a bit overly detached, isn't she? So she leaves. By the way, she keeps the end of the stinger, the end of Dren's tail, and she says, "What's missing from their work at the lab for this, gene thing, C, whatever the hell it was? They need a human DNA, and obviously that's in Dren's tail. So she's going to take the end of Dren's tail to go and finish the work at the lab, leaving Colin alone with Dren. So he goes and covers her up, and he says he's sorry to her, and he unties her and stuff, and it's all very sad. Meanwhile, she's at work. People hate Elsa now. Everybody hates Elsa in the audience. Colin's having a drink. So he goes up to the computer, types in his password, looking at the cameras, wondering where Dren is, and they must have a camera in the water tank because he's watching her in the water. Watching her in the water tank. Actually, you can see him. Oh, crikey! It's blurry enough. It's fine. She can see him, and it freaks him out a bit. Right. So what's happening here? David Hewlett's telling him it's over. We've failed. We're all going to be fired, etc. He says, "No, I've done it. I've done it. Be saved, etc." Right. So Colin's here, probably a little bit drunk. He goes into the barn. He's asking where Elsa is. She's not there, but Dren is, and she's trying to seduce Colin now. There we go. So she kisses him. He says, "No, that's not right," but then he carries on. So they're gonna make love now, and so they're getting It's going to be problematic, is this one, isn't it? So they're making love. So they're at, sowing his wild oats, but then Elsa walks in, as we'll see in a minute. My wife saw there, as they were making love. Ting, she's grown another stinger. Told you she was resilient. And so maybe if Elsa hadn't walked in, she might have killed him. She might have killed Colin, in the throes of love making. But no, what's happening there? What's that there down there? Oh, never mind. There you see, we see Elsa's reflection there. So she runs off. So Colin goes running after her, pulling his pants up as she's driving away. Come back to their old pad. Yes, boing. Just to try and explain himself. He doesn't know what happened. He doesn't understand it. Just one thing led to another, etc. She's trying to make out that it's all his fault. But we've crossed the line. The things got confused. It's probably because she had some of Elsa's DNA in him as well. In her, in Dren. That pheromones and stuff were probably going off, and he probably couldn't help himself. But whatever. So they're having a big row. Right. So anyway, she's saying it's all going wrong. So I think they decide they're going to go and end the experiment. There it is. She's saying this. She's done the job at the lab, and they can use Elsa to not Elsa, Dren to get all the proteins or whatever it is they need for the lab. So I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're heading to go and kill Dren. So they head back. She's floating in the water, as we see. I think she dies. So they're all sad now. I think they were going to go kill her anyway. I think that's what they were going to do. That was the impression I got anyway, that they were going to go and kill her or euthanize her, But she dies anyway. So they bury her. Here we go. They bury her in the out back of the barn. Start burning all the evidence, and there you go. Elsa finds she's cleaning some stuff away. She finds drawings. Here we go. Show us. There we go. Dren's been drawing Elsa, or is it her mother? I don't know, but she's been drawing Elsa, which is interesting. Remember, she drew Colin earlier on because she loved Colin, and now she's drawing Elsa. Why? I think the implication as well is she drew these later, but we learn why, not learn why, but we learn the probable reason why in a bit. Right, anyway, so they're packing all this away, but then they hear a car, and it's Gavin and William Barlow. He's arrived, and he's told him, and he says, but proper Rodney McKay style, he's saying, I'm not stupid, I did work it out. So he says, right, where is it? There you go. proper Rodney face, that, innit? Where is it? And they're going to get a forensic team in. He says, well, it's too late. It's dead. But then, there you go. Something's happening in the grave that they've just buried her in. It was told you she was resilient. Remember when she was born, so to speak, when she was gestating, she basically died in the womb, didn't she? And then just started living again. And that's what's happened here. She died and come back to life, but she's not the Dren we knew. Hang on, we hear a noise, we hear a screech. So it says, go and check. She's out it's out back of the barn, buried in a hole. Hello, Josh Temple. Welcome to the show. I'm nearly done now. Oh dear. Buried out back, but I don't believe you. But then something happens. We hear a screech. Look, something flies past. I've missed it. Look. For God's sake. Bloody skip. The bloody skip is too skippy. Something grabs him basically, and it's obviously Dren. Something, and flies off with him. He grabs that. Here we go. There she comes. And she grabs William Barlow and carries him off. And they're like, oh, what the bloody hell? And he's up a tree there. He's dead up a tree. She's killed William Barlow. But she's not a she anymore. Yep, she's on top of the roof. Hang on, go back again. Exactly. Go on, show us. Oh, for Pete's sake. Anyway, turns out that Dren has done what Ginger did earlier on. She's metamorphosized into a male. So still Dren, but a male version of Dren. She grabs Gavin. Obviously, Colin goes looking for his brother. And he drops his torch into this pond. And so he's got to get his torch back out. So we need it. Then he gets dragged in. Obviously, Dren's in there. We saw his brother were in there as well. Like Dren had shoved him under a rock, like alligators do, like it's larder, Dren's larder. But anyway, there we see Dren come out. Colin comes out again in a minute, I think. But Dren goes after Elsa. Yes, questionable activity in this film. Yes. Good job I'm not monetized, because YouTube would definitely unmonetize me or demonetize me. But anyway, right, so she goes running off through the woods and bangs her head on a branch, and there you go, there's Sparko, and then Dren's on top of her. More questionable activity about to happen, and this is Dren's only line, saying inside you, he says. There you go, inside you, or whatever. There you go. So it's basically going to R-word her, can't think of a rate. It's going to rate her. Anyway, so it does that. Happened. Oh, and then Colin arrives with a big rock and whacks Dren. They have a bit of a fight. And there you go. Oh, that's happening. And then no, I'm lying. It doesn't hit her with a rock. Colin hits her with a big stick. And then Elsa arrives and whacks Dren with a big rock. There you go. And before she can do the killing blow, there you go. Dren gets Colin with his stinger. It's a he now, isn't it? See, transgender. You see, this is back in 2009. 2009. So Colin's dead. But Elsa, basically bashes there you go, Dren's head in with the rock. So Dren's dead. Elsa's not well. And then we cut to the boardroom at the company. I can't remember, is it Newstead Farmer or something like that? We see the boss. There we go. And what's her face? Elsa's still alive and making her sign a contract that, not making her, but suggesting that she signs this contract. And the suggestion is that she's pregnant with Dren's child and all the amazing scientific things that that'll give to the company. The boardroom, yes, the boardroom. Being assimilated. So there you go. There's some sort of personal risk. And anyway, she does sign it. Does it tell us? I don't think it shows us what's on the contract. They say, you can never speak of this. And they said, there you go. She's pregnant. And the insinuation is that it's Dren's baby, not Colin's. Remember that she made love to Colin, didn't she, earlier on in the film? the insinuation is it's Dren's baby, and it's probably growing fast. I imagine not long has passed, so it's probably growing quite quickly. So that's probably how we know it's Dren's. So whatever's going to come out, I don't know. But she says to her, you don't have to sign this. You can just walk away, and as though none of this ever happened. But she still can't talk about it. But she says, what's the worst that could happen? And that's the end of the film. There you go. It says, what's the worst that could happen? And then the film ends. And we're just looking out over wherever they are. Vancouver, Montreal, no idea. Probably some Canadian city. Toronto, perchance. I don't know. And yes, leave it open, don't the Splice 2, insert clever title. Yes. Splice 2, Dren's Revenge. But no, they never did another, did they? So that was it. That was the end of the film. And there we go. It actually ends over that black screen. There's like a muffled sort of heartbeat, or so stuff's happening inside. But no, there were never a sequel. But which is fair enough. Sometimes you don't need sequels, do you? It's good to end on an ambiguous moment, isn't it? And leave it up to the audience to decide what happens next. Just making sure there is nothing at the end. I don't think there is. I don't think I've ever watched it all the way to the end. No, at the end. So there we go. That's the end of Splice. A really good film. I'm pressing the wrong button. There we go. There we go. A Splice cube crossover where one of these genetic creations gets put in a cube trap. Oh, pardon me. With normal people. I've only seen Cube once. I'm going to have to watch it again. I haven't seen any of the sequels either. I'm going to have to watch them. I think my brother's seen them all. He likes them films. But yeah, it's a cool film. I really like it. And the effects, I think, are really, really good. Considering its budget, which, wasn't super high. And but yeah, it's really good. Really good. I really enjoy it. So give it a whirl. It's worth watching. I don't know if it's on Amazon. It probably is. I don't know. Let's check. See if it's on Amazon. Oh, well, it might even be on Netflix. I've no idea. Where is it? Prime Video. I think it is actually. You would have seen it. Yes, it is. You can buy it for $4.99 on the UK version of Amazon Prime. But you can watch with Studio Canal Presents. Start your 7-day free trial. Or you can buy it for $4.99 in HD. So cool. But yeah, it's worth watching. It's a really, really good film. And even though there's no Splice 2. But there could be. You never know. Never say never. I mean, I always say this Top Gun. Whoever thought there'd be a Top Gun sequel? But 30 odd years later there was. Right, we'll leave it there. We will leave it there. So, hang on, let me get rid of that. Alien Resurrection, Species 2, Cube, and Aeon Flux are similar movies it recommends. Did it say that? I wasn't paying any attention. Customers also watched on mine. It says customers also watched Cat's Eye, which is a good film. I quite like Cat's Eye. Cockneys versus Zombies, which is really good, which we might do one day. Train to Busan, Orphan First Kill, Bait. Oh, right. Anyway, emotional frightening. It says. Anyway, stupid YouTube chat breaking my chat. What? Eh? Oh, you mean that? You mean the formatting? Never mind. Anyway, Species is kind of similar, isn't it? To I don't know about Species 2. I think I've seen it. I don't know. I can't remember. I've definitely seen the first one. Species 1 is kind of a guilty pleasure, even though it's a decent film. But I can't remember Species 2. There's a third one as well, isn't there? Might be a few of them. I don't know, but they are kind of similar because they're about. Although in Species, it's an alien DNA, isn't it, that they create in a lab. Aeon Flux is in the future, isn't it? It's Charlize Theron, isn't it, in that one? It's similar in the. I think she's got similar feet, or somebody in it's got like hands for feet, haven't they? But anyway, right, we'll leave it there. So, right, thanks, Wingrace, and thanks, Josh Temple. Anybody else pop in that I didn't notice? Nope. But better just check before we go. No, there's no chats on Rumble. No chats on Rumble. Oh, it says 3 people are watching, which is nice. Right, we'll leave it there. Right, so I've got to go sort out some supper for my lad now. Although he won't let me call it supper for some reason. So we're going to sort that out now. So what's coming up next? What day are we on? Friday. So Sunday, I'll be doing my news stream. Monday, I can't remember. Oh, it's Troll Hunter, isn't it? Mondays, Magnificent Mondays is Troll Hunter. Great film. I love that. The week after, I haven't set it up yet, but the week after, the following Monday after, is going to be Knowing, Nicolas Cage film. Another film that I think doesn't get enough credit. I like Knowing. Because it's an Alex Proyas film, I think. I'm sure it is. And who would go on to do Gods of Egypt. God knows what he was thinking there. Watching streams all day hasn't helped me getting my video out. Are you doing a video? What are you doing a video about? I can't remember what else you're watching. Oh, Future Arm, perchance. Anyway. I never saw Knowing. It's good, is Knowing. I really liked it. I really like Knowing. That one where he sees into the future. Not really. He doesn't see into the future. He gets a list of numbers, and they're all dates and how many people are going to die on these particular dates. And it's really good. It's really good. I like it anyway. What else? And next week's Friday night appointment with Thea is it's a double bill, isn't it? 'Cause it's Halloween. Well, near enough. Halloween couldn't be any further away from Friday night this year, could it? It's on the Tuesday. But so on the 27th, Friday the 27th, we're doing a double bill, Trick or Treat and Trick or Treat, which I haven't got. I've got a hard copy of Trick or Treat, the 1986 one, but I can't find it. It'd be in a box somewhere. I've looked everywhere and I can't find it, but I've got one. But I own Trick or Treat on Prime Video, so there we go. Anyway, Future Armor is over. Oh, Quantum Leap is on now. Not that anyone else seems to actually be watching it. I'm not. No, I haven't watched first season either. I know I can watch it through. I think Paramount Plus. I think it's on Paramount Plus over here, and I keep forgetting. To watch it. I keep forgetting. Knowing confused with Next. I don't know if I've seen that one. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yes. Next week's Friday night appointment with Fear is a double bill, Trick or Treat, the heavy metal horror film, Sammy Kerr and all. That's great. I love it. And Trick or Treat, the anthology film, which I also love, from Michael Dougherty. It's also Cage, a Las Vegas magician who can see into the future. Oh, right. As always, this next is pursued by FBI agents seeking to use his abilities to prevent a nuclear terrorist attack. Oh, I think I've seen that. Yes, I think I've seen that. Yes. Is it I forgot his bloody name. Him. It's the other fella as well, isn't it? Super famous actor whose name I can't bloody remember. I'm gonna have to look that up now, aren't I? Oh no, it ain't. No, it ain't. I'm not thinking of that one. Well, which one am I thinking of? Never mind. What else is he in? Just bear with me. I know. Long silences. Denzel. That's what I'm thinking of. But it's not Denzel. So what have I seen Denzel? I've seen Denzel in something like that, haven't I? Trying to find a nuclear bomb. What have I seen him in then? That's something to do with a nuclear bomb. Can't remember. Can't remember. Whatever. Never mind. Don't matter. It's not important. Right. No, not Peter Falk. Let's say I was thinking of something else. Thinking of a different film. Thinking of a different film with Denzel in it. But maybe, yes, maybe Deja Vu. Yes, it could be. I've closed the window now, so it might be that. Yes, Deja Vu. Probably. Anyway, yes, and I've decided on 2 films for the following Monday and the following Friday, and I've actually forgotten which I'm going to do. What am I doing? Hang on, I'm going to have to check now. Oh dear. I haven't set them up yet. Done that knowing. Oh, maybe I haven't set up the following Monday. Oh no, Monday, no, there's knowing, and then the Friday after. Yeah, the following Halloween is knowing, and then the Friday that week is going to be She Creature from 2001 or 2, depending where you look. About a mermaid, which is a cool film. Right, so we'll leave it there. Right, so thanks for watching, wherever you are. Look after each other, and until next time. Oh, don't have nightmares, by the way. Until next time, I'll say thee.